much, even the rehearsal, thought and work into it. So I can tell it's good.
It's going to be really good.
Awesome.
Family's going to really enjoy it. You are too.
I hope so. And my family, a couple of them graduated from the law school, and then all of them graduated.
Matt Smith, are you here? We couldn't start it without you. It's a live stream. Is it a live stream? Oh, hey. I love Ada and everything about it.
Hello.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
Oh, with the camera. And there's a camera. It's okay. What's happening? Yes, exactly. You're right there.
Thank you.
He just went to the bathroom.
So are you headed back to Indiana? Did you graduate? Good for you. I can't believe it's already taken tomorrow. Come on. Come on. A summer starter. Because they adjust it.
It is. I truly think that's the plan.
I was about to say, it falls on place. If you don't get 1 or 2, you might be going to spring. Wait, what?
It's kind of a shop, isn't it? Shop's me too. Graduation is so fun.
Do your professors like do this every year? Or do they rotate?
They rotate.
Year after year, was it ready?
I'm hoping to be two this year. My first year in And so God
Chris is incredibly good at being this week. We gave you guys a little help.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 137th commencement for the Pettit College of Law at Ohio Northern University. Given the patience, persistence, and resilience of the ONU community in meeting the challenges of COVID, seeing all of you here for this ceremony is a true joy. We gather today. Yes, that's worth an applause, don't you think? You bet. We gather today to recognize the culmination of an academic milestone and are grateful to all who have helped us persevere during the pandemic. I'm Dan DiBiasio, president of Ohio Northern University, and I have the privilege of presiding at this event. To begin our program, University Chaplain Reverend Dr. David MacDonald will give the invocation. I would ask that you all please remain standing if you are able for the invocation and for the singing of our national anthem, which will be led by graduating student Sibokazi Lali. Sibokazi is from Cape Town, South Africa. Chaplain MacDonald.
Let us pray. O God of all mercy, all justice, and all love, we come before you today giving thanks for the accomplishments of these graduates. Give your guidance, wisdom, and grace to them, that they may discharge their duties to the law and to society with diligence and prudence, tempered with humble hearts, open to the suffering and circumstances of others around them. Grant that they may be change makers in society, and that their work will be a blessing to all who benefit from or are aware of its impact and importance. Make them not just excellent attorneys, but good citizens and leaders, and give them the courage to stand up for what is right, even if it means facing in the opposite direction of the rest of the world. O God, most merciful, just, and loving, hear our prayer this day and grant us your peace. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain MacDonald, and thank you, Sibokazi. Our nation and the world have come to aid and support Ukraine in defense of its sovereignty and freedom. And we feel compelled to present a special musical tribute to the ingenuity, courage, and spirit of the Ukrainian people. As a university community, we place the utmost value on human dignity for all. Our heart goes out to the citizens of Ukraine, to those forced to flee the country, to Ukrainians living abroad, and to all people displaced as a result of this conflict. And we support members of our community who have connections to Ukraine, including the Pettit College of Law. As a sign of respect and solidarity with the country and its people, the ONU Symphonic Band, under the direction of Dr. Charles Bates, will perform the Ukrainian national anthem with vocalist Professor Kirsten Osman-Manley and Dr. Adrian Thompson-Bradshaw. Please stand if you are able. Thank you, Symphonic Band and Dr. Bates, Professor Osman-Manley, and Dr. Thompson-Bradshaw for that moving tribute. One more time for all of them, and thank you. Please be seated, everyone. More than any other college eventer program, the law commencement has both special and symbolic significance. We are here today to celebrate student success, applaud academic accomplishment, and confer upon our graduates and candidates both the rights and responsibilities of attaining the highest professional degree in their field. Although our primary purpose is to pay tribute to the students who are graduating today, we also come to recognize the collective efforts of so many: faculty, staff, parents, family, alumni, friends, and board members, all of whom played a vital role in our graduates' success. Ever since 1874, when the 11 members of the first graduating class received their degrees, the university community has gathered to celebrate and share in this time-honored campus tradition. Today, 42 members of the College of Law class of 2022 will soon be conferred with degrees and join nearly 34,000 graduates of the entire university who have preceded them. I'm confident that the graduates of the class of 2022 have the opportunity for a successful legal career because they've received an excellent education from an outstanding faculty. Our faculty members are dedicated teachers, respected scholars, and caring mentors. They have provided extraordinary service to our students and challenged them to make the most of their legal education here. Will the faculty please stand and be recognized? And would everyone, especially the graduating students, please join me in expressing our appreciation to them. Thank you, faculty. Administrative and support staff at Ohio Northern University also serve our law students in important ways. Will they please stand to be recognized, and please join me again in expressing our appreciation to them as well. Thank you, administrative and support staff. It is now my pleasure to introduce the members of the platform party and to recognize others who play an important role in today's ceremony. As they are introduced, each will rise and remain standing, and I request that you hold your applause until all the introductions have been made. A few members of the platform party will be individually introduced later in the ceremony. Beginning on my right, Dr. Adrian Thompson Bradshaw, Vice President for Student Affairs and vocalist. Professor Kirsten Osmond Manley, resident artist, instructor of music and musical theater, and vocalist. Dr. Linda Nice, interim associate vice president for academic affairs. Professor David Rack, professor of law. Dr. Dan Walker, chair of the University Board of Trustees. Dr. Charles DeMonico, honorary degree recipient. Dr. Charles Rose, dean of the Pettit College of Law. Mayor Sharita Smith, commencement speaker and honorary degree recipient. Dr. Julie Hertig, interim provost and vice president for academic affairs. Reverend Dr. David MacDonald, university chaplain. Christopher Ellington, graduating class commencement speaker. Sipokazi Lally, graduating student vocalist. Dr. David Rao, professor of technological studies, grand marshal. Dr. Tina Repke, professor of mathematics, banner bearer. Dr. Linda Young, professor of biological sciences, university marshal. Dr. Errol Katayama, professor of philosophy, university marshal. Professor Dallin Flake, professor of law, college marshal. Professor Joanne Brandt, professor of law, college marshal. Ms. Tina Adams, interpreter, and Ms. Delaney Streichel, interpreter. Please join me in recognizing these individuals. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Dan Walker, chair of Ohio Northern's Board of Trustees, who will offer a welcome on behalf of the board.
Good morning. What a lovely day. At this time, it is on behalf of Ohio Northern University Board of Trustees, I am delighted to welcome you to the law commencement for the class of 2022. As President DiBiaso mentioned, I serve as the board chair for the trustees at Ohio Northern University. We are a group of 28 men and women who are responsible for ensuring the quality and stewardship of the university, now and into the future. Today's joyful event honors you, our soon-to-be graduates, for successfully completing your degree requirements. The board recognizes that you've worked hard for several years to reach this milestone, and many of those years have been incredibly challenging due to the COVID pandemic. You, your faculty, the staff, and the ONU administration have shown such great resolve and resilience in managing during these COVID times, and the trustees are very proud of all of your accomplishments. I also want to thank your parents, family, and friends for the love and support, and congratulate them as well for sharing the joy that this day brings. Welcome to all, and congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Dan, for your words and for your exceptional service and leadership to the university. Appreciate it very much. I'm pleased to ask Dean Charles Rose to introduce our commencement speaker. Dean Rose.
Thank you, President DiBiasio. In a way, our speaker today needs no introduction because she is the leader, the mayor of our local community of Lima. But more importantly, she is an individual who is a graduate of our law school and who has lived each and every day of her professional life with compassion, humility, and dedication to others. As a public defender, as a politician, and as a human being. President DiBiasio, it is my great pleasure to introduce Mayor Sharita Smith. Mayor Smith.
Thank you, Dean Rose, for that introduction. It's been years since I walked this campus, and so President Dan and Ms. Chris DiBiasio, Dean Rose, faculty and administrators, students, family, friends, alumni, and especially the 2022 graduating class, thank you for providing me the opportunity to reflect on what my experiences at Ohio Northern University, Claude W. Pettit College of Law, and my life after has meant to me, and how those experiences might provide some inspiration for the graduating class. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to share a meal with Dean and Mrs. Bales and graduating members of the ONU Black Law Students Association. It was a lovely evening full of reflection over the last 3 years, anecdotes about the experience of starting law school during the pandemic, appreciation for professors and faculty, including Professor Gerber's affinity for Justice Clarence Thomas, Professor French's sometimes unorthodox teaching methods, and jokes about Professor Bell's Air Force Ones. The mood of the evening was entrenched in the realization that in just a few short months, you will all be lawyers. A dream that for many of the students I had dinner with and those graduating today has been in the making for as long as you can remember. Today marks an important day in your lives, an initiation, so to speak, into one of the most honorable professions in the world. Whether you plan to go into private practice or public service, or you decide not to practice at all, the way you think, communicate with others, and process the world around you will forever be changed by the last 3 years you spent in Tilton Hall. While you thought you were learning torts and contract law, and yes, Professor Rack, the law against perpetuities, and becoming familiar with litigants with names like Penoyer and Neff and International Shoe and Marbury, what you were really learning was how to think like a lawyer. Trust me when I say issue spotting will now be automatic. You will sometimes drive the non-lawyers in your life up the wall because your answer to every question will most of the time begin with, well, it depends. Over the last couple months, I've been making notes about all the advice I should share with you, and I've struggled to find the right words to share. Do I talk about the law being an honorable profession? Because it is. Do I selfishly encourage you all to go into public service? Because you should. Do I stand in the prestige of my title and my position when in reality we are living in a time when titles and positions can seem, quite frankly, really superficial? especially since the last few years with the global pandemic, the unraveling of democracy, and the threat of war, all has us reckoning with the most basic essence of who we are. So I'm here today, not to talk to you as the mayor of Lima, but as a fellow human being, a mother, a grandmother, a mentor, an alum of this great institution, and a citizen that is concerned about your future and the future of our country. I'll start with what I remember from my very first day of law school, when entering the class was addressed by then Dean David Crago. His words, "Look to the left, look to the right. One of you won't be back next year." Dean Crago was referring to the fact that the average dropout rate for law school students is 38%. Let me take a moment to just be real. Not too long ago, I was a single mom trying to find out how I was going to raise my kids, keep a roof over our head and food on the table, and find a good job so we wouldn't have to struggle. My circumstances were not ideal, but they were a result of my own decisions, and I was determined to be better, do better, and eventually leave better behind for my children when I'm gone. I wasn't always on the path to become a mayor. By the age of 21, I had 3 children, and I was on public assistance. The summer between my second and third year of law school, I was offered a job working for a local contractor out at Procter & Gamble, not too far from this campus. It wasn't a clerkship or had anything to do with the law, but what it did was provided a wage that would allow me to get off public assistance. By the time the fall came and it was time to go back to school, I was offered a promotion. So I quit law school. I left Lima, I packed up my 3 babies, loaded up my Ford Taurus, and moved to Louisiana, 900 miles away from anyone I ever knew. That same company transferred me to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and so we moved again to a place with no family. And then in 2008, the recession hit, and I decided to finish my degree. And by then, by the time I was finishing my degree and preparing to take the bar exam, as if life hadn't already been challenging enough, I was diagnosed with cancer and had to go through chemotherapy. But through chemotherapy, I kept showing up. Through raising 3 kids and trying to finish school, I kept showing up. Through getting behind on rent and facing evictions and car trouble and daycare and insurmountable medical bills, I kept showing up. Because I kept showing up, I earned the degree, I passed the bar exam, and became a lawyer, then a magistrate. And now I am the first woman and first African-American mayor in the city of Lima's 190-year history. Thank you. And I get to show up for the citizens of Lima every day. I am grateful for the opportunity to partly shape the future of Lima, but I'm even more humbled to share this place in history with each of you, people who kept showing up because you knew today would come. As I close, I leave you with a few words of advice. Number 1, no one is successful on their own. In fact, I had plenty of help along the way, including my family, my professors, and professional mentors. And my big break came when a middle-aged, white male, conservative Republican judge helped me to become a magistrate. So in this age of polarization, where we can be divided by race and gender and political ideology, I want you all to remember that there are still people that can look beyond labels and help one another in a human way. Number 2, today is the end of one journey and the beginning of another. one of the many transitions that you will experience as you move from one stage of life to another: graduation, marriage, pregnancy, promotions, even seasons. Stop. Take in this moment. You deserve it. Number 3, regardless of what you decide to practice or the profession you choose, be a person of character, one who values honor, integrity, personal responsibility, one who determines your success by the number of deposits you make, not withdrawals, and one who goes all in to add value to their community. Number 4, graduation really is a big deal. Your graduation comes at a time when the world has been changed forever and is deeply divided, as I said, on so many issues. One of my favorite quotes about the legal profession was written by the late Charles Hamilton Houston, the first Black editor of the Harvard Law Review and the first general counsel of the NAACP. In 1938, Houston argued a case known as State ex rel Gaines versus Canada before the United States Supreme Court under the premise that it was unconstitutional for Missouri to exclude blacks from the state's university law school when under the separate but equal provision, no comparable facility for blacks existed within the state. Houston's work and his effort to demand the legal theory of separate but equal came to fruition after his death with the historic Brown v. Board of Education decision in 1954, which prohibited segregation in public schools. But what's really special is that case was argued by Charles Hamilton Houston's law student or former student, Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. The quote, "A lawyer's either a social engineer or," it said he, but I'm gonna say she or he, is a parasite on society. I'll repeat that. A lawyer's either a social engineer or a parasite on society. For Houston, a social engineer was a highly skilled, perceptive, sensitive lawyer who understood the Constitution of the United States, who understood both the spirit and the letter of the law, and knew how to explore the law to use it to solve problems of local communities and bettering the conditions of the people who live there. Be a social engineer. Lastly, keep showing up. So that's my list for you. I hope I made it abundantly apparent how proud I am to be a graduate of the Ohio Northern University Pettit College of Law, and how excited I am to be able to lend to you all my support and encouragement as you join this worthy profession and enter into the next phase of your careers. Because yours is truly a class full of leaders, I can't wait to see all this plays out and to visit with you in the future as you embark upon what are sure to be fascinating professional lives. Again, it is such an honor to have been present at this special moment. I offer you my very best wishes in the years ahead. Congratulations, class of 22. Make it mean something and make us all proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those wonderful words, Mayor. They were practical, powerful, and inspirational. And I hope we can make it abundantly clear that we are so proud of you. Thank you. It's now, yes, one more time. Yeah. It's now my pleasure to introduce Christopher Ellington as the student speaker. Chris graduates today from the JD program first in his class with honors, summa cum laude. He is from Lima, Ohio, and earned his undergraduate degree at Ohio University. In addition to his stellar academic record, Chris excelled as a student leader. He served on the editorial board of the Ohio Northern Law Review and as its student research editor. In addition, he was a teaching assistant and peer mentor. Chris has a family connection to ONU Law as well. His grandfather, Michael Rummer, served as a common pleas judge in Allen County and an adjunct professor in the Pettit College of Law. Chris was recently inducted into ONU's Law's prestigious Willis Society, and after graduation, he will work for the Sydney, Ohio-based FGKS law firm. Graduates and ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present Christopher Ellington, the top student in the class of 2022, to speak on behalf of his classmates. Chris.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Good morning, friends, family, faculty, and of course, my soon-to-be fellow graduates. My name is Christopher Ellington, and for those of you who don't know me, this is a little out of my comfort zone. I'm usually a very quiet and reserved person. And for those of you who do know me and realize that I just told a lie big enough, I'm probably gonna have to report out my character and fitness, I promise, I know you've had to listen to me talk incessantly for the last 3 years. I won't make you listen to me that much longer. When Dean Rose first asked me if I'd be willing to say a few words at graduation, I started my speech the way any good law student would. I had to do some research. So if you Google graduation speech writing tips, you'll suddenly get dozens of results that promise that if you use just these few tips, you will have a graduation speech that no one forgets. One site even had a little anecdote about a time that a celebrity had used their little tips, and it worked wonderfully. Here's the thing. People are going to listen to Beyonce regardless of what Beyonce is saying. Seeing as I am very much not Beyonce, I realized I had to go somewhere else. With all that information in mind, I realized that the importance of a graduation speech isn't to be remembered 20 years from now. It's to share and reflect on the memories we've made over the last 3. As much as I wish I had the secrets of success in life and law for you, I don't. As a 26-year-old, I won't pretend to know the secrets to success in life, and I won't pretend to know more than many people in this audience who have experienced many more things than I have. With that in mind, in case you guys didn't know, our law school experience was a little different than every other class who's gone before us. Practically our entire educational experience was lived in unprecedented times. And if you know anything about law students, you know how important precedent is to us. In March of 2020, our entire world was flipped upside down. On a Wednesday night, we received an email from the university saying that they would be suspending in-person classes. We didn't know if we were going to be able to finish. We didn't know when we'd be able to finish. But come Monday morning, I was in Professor Flake's civil procedure class at 8:30 in the morning, and he was cold calling without hesitation or remorse. I will say, though, that never in the history of law school has a cold call been so reassuring. In the chaos of the outside world, law school became a constant that we could find refuge in. At the end of it, with all the confusion, we still learned Erie, we argued our appellate briefs, we all kind of looked around at each other and tried to figure out what chevron deference was and how to apply it. I still don't know if we actually know that. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that each of these experiences was a ton of fun. I'm not even saying that most of them were a ton of fun. But it gave us an outlet from the outside world that we could focus on a little bit of normalcy in the chaos of everything else. What strikes me, though, through the turmoil of all of our experience, through all the canceled events, the modified procedures, with the great moments of joy and normalcy that we got to experience. I've had the incredible privilege of watching my classmates grow personally and professionally. I've been able to attend weddings, celebrate births, witness firsthand the blossoming of new relationships. I'd like to do a quick aside about the births. There are several people in this class that literally had a child in the middle of the semester and still finished. So watch out for those people. All we can hope is that they'll use their powers for good and not evil. Relationships in law school are funny. I was lucky that I was coming into a law school with a best friend who would be taking the journey with me, a woman who had specialized with keeping me in line since we were in middle school, and I had no doubt that she would intend to do so while we went through law school. What's funny, though, is how quickly strangers became friends. I was on campus for all of about 15 minutes when Maddie, my aforementioned personal ego checker, introduced me to a new person. In the course of our conversation, it came up that I had recently gotten engaged. And without missing a beat, this girl, whose name I wasn't even sure I could remember, looked me in the eye and said, "I can't wait to be at your wedding." Long story short, I got legally ordained to perform her marriage, and now she's going to be in my wedding in October. Law school is a whirlwind, so your friendships have to be too. In a few short months, you went from hardly knowing someone to feeling like you've known them your entire life. It's really funny what the trauma of the Socratic method can do. Through uncertainty and chaos, we found order, and we found each other. If there's one thing I'll take away from this experience, it's that the friendships and joy in the darkest and most frightening of times. As a class, we've shared rounds of uncontrollable laughter. We've helped each other through bouts of unimaginable sorrow. We've laughed, and we've cried, and we've worried about the next day's reading, but we did it all together. After today, we'll all head in different directions. We'll prepare for the bar, we'll take the bar, and yes, we will pass the bar, speaking it into existence. We'll forget a lot of things along the way that at one point seemed like the most important things you could ever need to know. What I hope we won't forget is the memories that we've made here. The times that you laid laughing on the floor of a study room because your final is tomorrow and you just could not possibly read another word. All of the little things that at the time seemed so insignificant, but now are the only things that you can remember. Those times, all the little things that seem so insignificant now, those things are the things that you need to remember. In the times of absolute chaos and tragedy and stress that will come with the practice of law, and those times will come, I hope that in those times you can look back on your time here and remember just that one moment that made you smile in the midst of the hardest thing you ever had to do. If you can smile through that, you can smile through anything. Congratulations, ONU Law Class of 2022. Take a deep breath for today, everyone. We did it. If I could call on my esteemed classmate, Mr. Jeremy Pratt, to send us out with one final Go Bears. Pratt? Bears. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate those warm, genuine remarks and even including some class participation there at the end. That was great. At this time, would Interim Provost Hertig, Dean Rose, and Mayor Sharita Smith please join me for the conferral of the honorary degree. Sharita Smith, as the first woman and first African-American woman elected to serve as mayor of Lima, Ohio, you are making history and making a difference. The great-granddaughter of sharecroppers, you were born and raised in Lima, the place where both your grandfathers migrated years ago for jobs in the steel mill and to escape the Jim Crow South. While facing personal challenges, including poverty and cancer, you worked your way through college, earning an undergraduate degree in journalism from the University of Toledo, an MBA from the University of Phoenix, and a Juris Doctorate from Ohio Northern University's Pettit College of Law. For more than a decade, you have dedicated yourself to public service, working in both the judicial and executive branches of local government. In Tennessee's 11th Judicial District in Chattanooga, you served for 4 years as an assistant district public defender and 6 terms as magistrate. As a public defender, you represented people who couldn't afford a private attorney. As magistrate, you presided over probable cause and bond hearings, issued arrest and search warrants, and appointed counsel for indigent defendants. Your time in Chattanooga convinced you that if you wanted to turn people's lives around for the better, you had to heal broken communities. You decided the best place to start building a better community was in your hometown of Lima. After serving for several years as the chief of staff for Lima's mayor, you became a mayoral candidate yourself and won the November 2021 election with 54% of the vote. Your election was one for the record books because in the 190-year history of Lima city mayor, you became not only the first woman, but the first African-American woman to fill that role. As mayor, you have the tremendous responsibility of overseeing approximately 35,000 citizens in one of the most diverse cities in the region, 400 city employees, and a $121 million budget. In your first year, you've already taken steps to make government work for the people. Your ambitious agenda includes plans to improve public safety, accelerate the city's economy, invest in neighborhoods and schools, and transform government. Leading with focus, determination, and empathy, you care about each and every citizen in your city, and you are determined to transform Lima into a safe, welcoming, and forward-looking metropolis. You have truly distinguished yourself as a public servant of purpose and integrity. Therefore, by the authority vested in me from the state of Ohio and the Ohio Northern University faculty and Board of Trustees, I am delighted to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto. Congratulations, Dr. Mayor. Would Interim Provost Hertig, Dean Rose, and Charles DeMonico please join me for the conferral of the honorary degree? Charles DeMonico, as one of the nation's preeminent environmental and trial attorneys, you've worked tirelessly on the side of justice for nearly 5 decades, building an impressive legacy. You received your bachelor's degree from the University of Notre Dame in 1971 and your Juris Doctorate from Ohio Northern University in 1974. You launched your legal career in the government sector, serving as Assistant District Attorney for Allegheny County, Pennsylvania for more than 7 years, Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Pennsylvania for more than 6 years, and as Assistant Chief of the Environmental Crimes Section of the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. for more than 9 years. While in the Justice Department, you tackled one of the most significant environmental cases of our times. In 1989, the oil tanker Exxon Valdez struck Prince William Sound's Bligh Reef in Alaska, spilling millions of gallons of crude oil into the waterway. Considered one of the world's worst environmental disasters, the spill caused extensive harm to the natural world. You served as lead counsel for the United States in the criminal prosecution of U.S. v. Exxon and Exxon Shipping Company. The criminal and civil settlements obtained by the government at the time represented the largest comprehensive settlement in the history of law enforcement. You also served as lead counsel for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Pittsburgh in the 1988 Ashland oil spill, where the company was fined $2.25 million after a tank collapse sent 700,000 gallons of diesel fuel into the Monongahela and Ohio rivers. You've prosecuted major environmental cases in Pittsburgh, Miami, Anchorage, San Juan, and Washington, D.C. Recently, you've provided representation in federal civil litigation regarding the restoration of the Florida Everglades. After working in government, you transitioned to private practice and are currently a partner at the respected law firm Fox Rothschild LLP, based in Pittsburgh. Your broad practice focuses on corporate internal investigations, security investigations and litigation, commercial litigation, corporate compliance and governance, environmental law, and white-collar criminal defense. Highly regarded in the legal profession, you've given more than 50 professional presentations, co-authored numerous articles, and been quoted in the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and other national media. You've received letters of recognition from 2 attorneys general, 2 FBI directors, and received awards and commendations too numerous to list, but which include the prestigious Attorney General's Distinguished Service Award. Additionally, you are an adjunct faculty member at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law. Throughout your distinguished career, your intelligence, tenacity, and integrity have set you apart. Unwavering in your efforts to uphold the high ideals of justice and rule of law, you brought honor to the legal profession. Therefore, by the authority vested in me from the state of Ohio and the Ohio Northern University Faculty and Board of Trustees, I am delighted to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Dr. DeMonica.
Well, good morning, and thank you, President DiBiasio and Dean Rose, for inviting me back to Ohio Northern University to receive this great honor. I am truly humbled, and it's a tremendous honor to receive this degree, this honorary degree with Sharita Smith. What an outstanding person, individual, and truly deserving of this honor. I graduated from Ohio Northern University School of Law in 1974, and I learned a great deal that served as the foundation for my legal career. I served, as the president mentioned, as state and federal prosecutor for about 22 years in Pennsylvania and in Washington, D.C. before entering private practice, and I'm currently a partner at a national large law firm out of Pittsburgh. I had the opportunity to serve as counsel in many courts throughout the country, from Puerto Rico to Alaska and many places in between. In fact, I'm scheduled to be in federal district court in the Southern District of Alabama on Monday. As the president mentioned, I also serve on the adjunct faculty of the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, and I teach conflict of laws for the last 18 years. I attribute my success and my many opportunities to this university, this School of Law, the legal education that I received, and the values that I learned here. When I left my supervisory position at the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., I gifted my colleagues with a book, The Trial and Death of Socrates. Socrates says that my wisdom lies solely in the knowledge of my own ignorance. My wisdom lies solely in the knowledge of my own ignorance. What did he mean by that? What I believe he meant by that is that no one knows everything. And when we appreciate that and we take steps to learn what we don't know, we become wiser. That's how we gain wisdom. That's a good lesson for all of us as attorneys, as we serve society, the judicial system, and fulfill our important role as advocates and counselors. I wish you all the very best in your careers. Take advantage of the many opportunities that will come your way. Work very hard and never stop learning. That combination will serve you well. If I could ever be of any assistance to you or any member of the alumni, please never hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you, provide advice, and whatever I can do to help be of helpful to you. So again, congratulations on your graduation. I compliment your parents, your spouses, and all of those who supported you along the way. So once again, thank you very much, and I wish all of you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles, for those words and for your incredible professional accomplishments. We are grateful to the Symphonic Band for contributing their time and talent to our ceremony this morning. Under the outstanding direction of Dr. Charles Bates, the Symphonic Band will now perform Liberty by Rossano Galanti. Thank you, Symphonic Band and Dr. Bates, for that great performance. And now Dean Rose will provide comments to the graduating class and discuss the symbolic significance of the hood. Dean Rose.
Thank you, President DiBiasio, members of the dais, Chairman Walker, Interim Provost Hurtig, Chaplain McDonald. It is a blessing to be with you today. I just have a few remarks, about 35 or 40 minutes, and then we will move on to the hooding. 3 years ago, I stood in front of you and told you that you were the first law school class that I would see from beginning to end as Dean of the College of Law. I had no idea what we were in store for. There are a lot of characters in your class, but you are also a class of character. You are a class of character. I look at you and I see the leaders in the law school who brought us seamlessly through distance education, who brought us back together, who cared about the mental health of their fellow students, who celebrated and lifted one another up through some of the most difficult times that we've experienced in legal education probably since World War II. If you stop and think about that for a moment, in the last 60, 70, 80 years of our country's history, you had more challenges placed before you than all of those law students over that 80 years. I cannot think of a group of people that I would rather go through that with than the 42 of you. And I wonder, how did your parents manage to make you such outstanding human beings? And then I thought about Ohio Northern University and the quiet excellence that permeates your university. The studied, careful, compassionate leadership from the president, the board, all the way down. The example that they give you each and every day about how to be as a human being. The accomplishments of our honorary degree recipients today are incredible, phenomenal, and they are you. They are you. The only difference between you and them right now is time. The faculty works tirelessly to lift you up and to push you forward, to make you people of character, to ensure that your education is the best possible. Why do they do that? Why do we, as a group of human beings, care so much about you? I can only tell you why I do it and why I think they do it. Because in a world that is filled with darkness and trouble and disease and discord, you are our answer. You are our promise to the future. You are the reason that we know that we will all be all right. I have no doubts that the future of the country is bright, that the future of Ohio, that the future of this part of the world is bright. It's bright because you will be the citizen lawyers, whether in private or public service, that make the difference in the lives of every single human being that you touch. I've got no doubts. I've seen you do it under the most trying of circumstances possible with grace, dignity, and wit, because we always need to laugh, right? Now, part of today is the presenting of academic hoods. And this has a huge symbolic commitment within an educational institution, particularly within a law school. We present academic hoods at commencement as a symbol of your accomplishment today. I don't want you to ever forget, you are joining a profession that drafted the Magna Carta, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, your profession that you are joining today did that. Lawyers have been present at the creation of every major document that governs humanity today. And you're going to become a living embodiment of our commitment to the rule of law and the promise that our staff and our faculty have made to continue to water the tree of liberty. You're our promise to the world. Now, this academic hood means the world to each of us who wear it. Why? Because it was not given to us. We earned the right to put it on, just as you have earned the right today. The hood is designed to make clear the level of degree, the academic discipline in which it was earned, and the institution which has awarded that degree. If you've bothered to measure it, and I'm sure some of you on Law Review have, it's approximately 4 feet in length. That's a doctor's hood. It has the widest velvet trim of any academic hood. And the colors of the trim identify the academic discipline. Purple signifies law. It is lined with the colors of the institution that awarded the degree, usually a 2-color pattern. So if you were wondering why it's orange and black, now you know. Now, this hood that you are about to receive today signifies all of the high achievements that you have obtained in accomplishing the degree of Juris Doctor from Ohio Northern University. You join a very prestigious group of individuals today. When you receive this hood, you will become a member of our honored profession, and you should take great pride in that achievement. Many wish, but few achieve, and you have achieved. Now, as lawyers, you have to be willing to do the right thing when no one else is looking. When the easy thing might get you in the short term what you or your client wants, but it's not the right thing. I'm confident that you will. You have a special opportunity now to make a difference in the lives of your clients, the community, the nation, and the world. If you look around this assembly today, these folks are counting on you to do exactly that. Everyone here is delighted. Family, friends, teachers, we are all gathered here today to honor you and the work that you have done. We know, dear God, do we know, how hard you have worked, what you have sacrificed, what you dreamed of becoming. Well, today, you're not in the process of becoming a lawyer. You are. Good luck, congratulations, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Dean Rose. We will now proceed and present hoods, confer degrees, and award diplomas to the graduating class. Please note that students graduating with honors are so designated in the commencement program, and that the level of honor earned will be stated as names are announced. Interim Provost Turdig, will you please commence the conferring of the academic degrees?
President DiBiasio, I have the honor of calling Dean Charles Rose to the podium for the privilege of presenting the candidates for the Juris Doctor.
Will the candidates for Juris Doctorate please rise? President DiBiasio, as Dean of the Pettit College of Law of Ohio Northern University, it is a privilege to present these candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor.
Thank you, Dean Rose. With the approval of the university faculty and by the authority vested in me from the Board of Trustees of Ohio Northern University and the State of Ohio, I am pleased to confer upon each of you the Juris Doctor degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
The Ohio Northern University Recognition Medal recognizes outstanding academic achievement. A medal and a certificate are presented to each of the highest ranking graduates in each college who have completed at least 90 graded hours at Ohio Northern and are present at commencement. It is my privilege to indicate that an Ohio Northern Recognition Medal and certificate will now be presented to Christopher James Ellington, magna cum laude, as the highest ranking graduate in the Claude W. Pettit College of Law. Alex Joseph Albers, magna cum laude. Olivia Claire Arnett. Ellie Marie Beelman, cum laude. John Howard Black. Jared Thomas Bruderly. Chloe Abigail Bucher. Adeline Faith Clay, magna cum laude. Dante James DeAndrea. Andrew Bonner Davis. Ryan Gregory Davis, magna cum laude. Kunga P. Drongchiwa. Reginald Dublin, Jr. Mackenzie Lane Garverick, cum laude. Madison Taylor Garverick, cum laude. Logan Betts Graham. Madeline Helmick. Miles Desmond Houston. Ashley Chantel Johnson. Ryan Michael Johnson, magna cum laude. David Earl Josie, magna cum laude. Zubakazi Lali. Jennifer J. Loria. Clintisha D. Martin. Participating virtually, Tracy Lee McKay, cum laude. Adam Spencer Moore, cum laude. Damaris Taylor Nance. Gabriel Hunter Nolcox. Lucas Dale Perkins. Jeremy DeCarlos Pratt, Jr. Natalie Ann Reichert, magna cum laude. Tyler Jacob Rothstein, magna cum laude. Juan Tony Salazar Aguero. Matthew Allen Smith. Jared Kent Sprague, cum laude. Evan Gregory Thorsted, cum laude. Alexandra Rose Vance. Alyssa Nicole Waite. Cheyenne Weingartner. Taylor Christine Walke. Kyle R. Young, cum laude. And Vuk Zuich.
To members of the graduating class, I join with everyone here to acknowledge your accomplishments and recognize all that you have done to reach today's milestone. With Chris and I retiring at the end of June, we are, in a way, graduating with you. And it's a privilege to share your milestone with ours, underscoring the mutual conclusion of our work at this great university. To be sure, you graduate at a time of great challenge in our nation and the world. We need men and women like you, individuals with intelligence, insight, and integrity, to make a positive difference in your profession and in your communities. Our society requires that we have well-educated legal leaders who are dedicated to preserving America's commitment to the Constitution and our nation's reliance on the rule of law to ensure justice. We need lawyers who will sustain this core commitment of our democracy, and we are confident in your ability to do so. Today you make us very, very proud. Will the members of the graduating class please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, I present the Pettit College of Law class of 2022. Congratulations, graduates, best wishes, and Godspeed. Thank you. While we honor the graduates today, we also want to recognize the love and support provided by their parents, grandparents, wives, husbands, and other family members. Will the families of all the graduating students please stand so that we can recognize you as well? Please, please. Let's give it up. I would also like again to thank members of the Symphonic Band under the outstanding direction of Dr. Charles Bates for today's musical performance. Let's appreciate them. Dr. Adrian Thompson Bradshaw will now lead us in the final verse of the ONU hymn. The words are printed in the commencement program, and following the hymn, Chaplain MacDonald will give a spoken benediction. Please stand and remain standing until the spoken benediction has been given.
Ohio Northern, we love thy name. Ohio Northern, long live thy fame. We sing thy glory, sound forth thy praise, for all that gladdens our dear college days. Ohio Northern, we will be true, loyal forever to dear ONU.
Once a lawyer asked Jesus a question, "What is the greatest commandment of all?" And Jesus gave him two answers. First, love God, and second, love your neighbor. And he concluded, "On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." A reminder that you should never ask a question in court that you don't already know the answer to. As you prepare to leave this place, doctorate in hand, If you are so inclined, I encourage you to love God with all your heart, mind, strength, and soul. And may you also love your neighbors as you love yourself, your opposing council neighbors, your Democratic and Republican neighbors, your neighbors who look and act like you, and the neighbors that you just don't understand. Your neighbors of all colors, creeds, temperaments, and orientations. Love them all, not as you think they might love you, but as you love your own selves, which means, first of all, go and love yourselves. All of the law and the prophets hang on this. Love of neighbor is the highest good that humankind can achieve through the love of God. May it be so in your lives and in the world at large. Go in peace. Amen.
Thank you.